Avengers, assemble. Welcome back to Sanders Presents. I'm Greg, and if you're enjoying the content we're producing, please consider sponsoring us by following that link in the description below to assemble on our Patreon and become an Avenger today. We have two tiers available, a $3 tier and a $5 tier. At that $5 tier, you become an Avenger Premium member, and you join these other lovely people on our Avenger Memorial Hall of Fame. To my Avenger Premium sponsors, thank you so much for covering this channel and supporting us. To all of my Avengers, every last one of you, thank you all so much for supporting us, for sponsoring our content, and for making all of this possible. We truly do appreciate it. Thank you. Time to get giddy. The X-Men are coming. That's what she said. Anyway, I digress. I don't want to get lost too much, but I'm excited, so allow me to gush. We leaked this over a year ago on the original Sanders Presents. You'll remember, because it was literally one of the things that got us struck. You know how YouTube strikes work, but we've always been a part of leaking material, and we flew under the radar as long as we possibly could, but eventually it all finally caught up to us. But one of our biggest stories at Sanders Presents was that Patrick Stewart had met with Kevin Feige. And it was for Multiverse of Madness. Now, we have the trailer. And there it is. Right there in the trailer, Patrick Stewart. Shall we tell him? Which is a terrible impression, I know, but it is what it is. It's just been so long to get here, and I'm just so freaking excited, like legitimately really, really excited to have this moment, to be on the cusp of this, something in my opinion that's really, really exciting. So I did want to gush, and I wanted to give people a space to gush as well, if you're as gushy as I am. That's what she said. Anyway, I mean, Patrick Stewart reprising his role as Professor Xavier. Now, you've already clicked on this, so, I mean, spoilers kind of go out the window, but if you want a spoiler warning, there's a spoiler warning. We have this covered because we were able to carry over some of our videos. We do have some content that we brought over to this channel from the last one before it was completely taken offline. Don't have a lot of it, but we got some of it, and again, those videos are all linked in our Discord. And they're all in our Rumors and Leaks playlist, so I do urge you to check that out. But everything that we've heard is that he has a sizable, significant role, and that he is in his hover chair, and that he pretty much looks like he does out of X-Men, the animated series, the one from the 90s that is continuing now on Disney Plus and is premiering in 2023. Anyway, so it is not the Professor Xavier from the Fox X-Men films, like specifically like from one of those films. It's not that specific Professor Xavier as far as like we understand it, as far as we can understand it, I suppose. The information we have is all from principal photography, not from the reshoots, of which were significant and sizable. We're not going to pretend like there wasn't sizable and significant reshoots for Multiverse of Madness. There was. We have very, very few details on those reshoots. We only have a couple, which we've also already shared. But we know that Professor Xavier was a part of the film from principal photography. We know the Illuminati compound that we see in the trailer is the British Museum in London, and of course heavily decorated and altered with CGI and post-production effects. And I expect it to be a treat, and we're going to see a full Illuminati. There's a lot of surprises in that. Again, we have a video kind of revealing what we know. I'm going to try to keep this isolated to Professor Xavier unless I slip up, because Professor Xavier was openly revealed. So I'm figure we can specifically talk about him and gush about it. The big thing is, though, is, this is the X-Men are going to be a part of the MCM, the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse. Now, obviously, we have Quicksilver, we have Scarlet Witch. We've had these kind of characters that are mutant adjacent. We've had mutant locations introduced in Falcon and Winter Soldier. We've had all these kind of little stepping stones, and we're almost there to the full arrival of the X-Men. And that's really exciting for me because I prefer the X-Men over the Avengers. The X-Men are my favorite team. They're in my opinion, they are the more superior cast of characters. I have a love for them that is completely unrivaled in Marvel. Spider-Man and X-Men, that's it for me. And I like if I had to sit down and choose, okay, Avengers or X-Men, I would choose X-Men every time. Whether it's a video game, a movie, a cartoon, I would choose the X-Men every time, full transparency. So, like, I am 100% in on the X-Men. So this is an absolute treat for me. I am so thrilled that they showed it in the trailer because there's a part of me that didn't think they would. I was like, oh my God. Because of how much they hid for Spider-Man No Way Home, I was like, because we knew about Spider-Man No Way Home. Again, we leaked it. We leaked it on the original Sanders Presents channel ages ago. So all the way back in 2020. So there was a possibility. There was a possibility that we would have a circumstance where we weren't going to see any of the Illuminati. And I'm so thankful that they decided not to go that route because I think you should tease that. I think it's really exciting, and I think it's important to tease that, at least in my opinion. I think it's good for marketing, and Professor Xavier and the association with the X-Men, that's a big deal for me. Also, in a roundabout way, this film is going to make the Fox men a part of the multiverse. So whereas Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was the first film in the MCM, now Bryan Singer's X-Men is the first MCM film until we get to Blade. Anyway, unfortunately, Bryan Singer is a pedophile and he's a criminal. And anytime I talk about Bryan Singer, I like to point that out just so that we're on the same page. I digress, but it is important to note, and I can't help it. So I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I'm over the moon. I really am. I'm really, really giddy. I am as giddy as a schoolgirl for this film. I love that they showed it in the trailers. I can't wait to see what reshoots have changed. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe we'll get a little bit. Maybe we'll get some information on just what those reshoots entailed, how much they kept from principal photography, what got changed. We have the loosest of awareness in terms of the additional photography, and the biggest bit of info that we have in terms of the reshoots is that it involved a significant reorganizing of the Illuminati portion of the film. And as far as we are aware, that includes the addition of other characters. So we will see where that goes, and we're following it very closely and paying very close attention because it's a big deal for me, especially with the characters involved. These are characters that mean a lot to me. In terms of the X-Men, it means a lot to me. And I know Patrick Stewart isn't going to be the MCU's X-Men, Professor X, you know what I'm saying? But he is in the multiverse now. He's a part of the MCM's multiverse. And you can't take that back. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I'm excited. So let me know what you think. Were you excited? Were you giddy? What was your reaction to that moment in the trailer? I want to know how much you're gushing. Are you as anxious for the X-Men as I am, or is that just me? Anyway, to my Avengers, thank you so much for your support and for your sponsorship. If you are willing and able, please follow that link in the description below to support the channel by becoming an Avenger today. And while you're down there, please also consider joining our Discord. We have an amazing, amazing community. And finally, my debut novel, 89 Instrument of Destruction, is available on Amazon now, and you can order it by clicking that link in the description below. So thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation. Please like this video if you haven't, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and share our content with your friends. It helps immensely with YouTube's analytics and algorithms. Above all else, and most importantly, stay safe, take care of others, and have a marvelous day. Bye, everyone.